Hello, everyone. Thank you for watching. I've been titling my vlog entries as like adrenal fatigue healing journey, and the actual thread and the theme that has been going on for me is, yeah, the body is detoxing and healing, but I've also been watching the transits, the astrology transits in the sky, and so that's really where my passion lies. And so I'm going to start calling these Astro Awakening journals, because it's just so fascinating to track the awakening that's happening in this body and mind through the transits. And what I want to report today is I just got finished with a 21-day retreat with Devaji. So my last video, I reported about being slammed by Pluto again. And this transit for me is still happening. Pluto is exactly square my sun, natal Pluto and North Node. And I'll show you that. I'll show you that on a screen share in a second. And so Pluto has taken me out multiple times over the last couple years. And today and yesterday, I'm really feeling and seeing the gifts in being slowed down. So the past few weeks has been a crazy roller coaster of moments of extreme, beautiful heart opening and feeling connected to the source of everything, and just feeling my heart really open and just be sensitive to everything. And then it goes to the body wakes up tired, and then I'm in bed resting, and then I'm screaming out for I don't know, these past few purges, I don't know what they've been about. It's just been a release of energy. So there's been crying and screaming and the depths of despair, and then just this longing for the divine. And my theme song has been this beautiful song by Paya called Machi, and she just sings Machi. When the way she sings Ma, it's like this crying out for the beloved, and that's just how I've been feeling. And then I've also been feeling connected to the beloved more. So the other day I went and took a walk, and the body was tired, and I was feeling contracted and sad, and yet I started walking, and I heard this trumpet. Somebody was playing their trumpet, and they were playing this kind of jazzy bluesy tune, and my heart just started getting drawn to it. And then it was like, oh my God, he's playing the song of the struggle of life, just this absolute sacredness of the human journey. It's becoming alive, and the more that I'm purged, and the more that Pluto is slamming me and slowing me down, the more I'm tapping into the subtle dimensions of life and really appreciating all the little things. So here I am to I'm alive still. So yesterday the retreat ended, and I was absolutely relieved that it was over, because I was so done sitting and being in this pressure cooker and feeling like shit, and being around all the people's energy, even though everyone is absolutely beautiful. Just when the body's tired and stressed, just dealing with other people's energy is a lot. So I stayed home for the final satsang, and I'm really glad I did. I watched it from home, and then it was over, and then I picked up this astrology book. I'm moving out of my house, and so I've been getting rid of a lot of stuff, and I almost got rid of this for some reason. But I picked it up yesterday, and I turned to the North. This is all about North Node in your chart, and there's a lot of really great insights in this book. So I reread Gemini North Node, because if you see in my chart, North Node is actually in Libra, the sign, but it's the third house. And with all that planetary energy in the third house, that's a lot of Gemini energy too. So I read Gemini, and there were so many insights that I had, and it was kind of funny. It was just reaffirming of this feeling that I've been having, which is, yeah, I'm going to continue this journey to go within and to discover who I really am. I mean, that's not going to go away, but it feels like a cycle is ending, where I'm wanting to be out in the world and be in the material plane, and not like be so shut in and in silence all the time. And basically what it said was that in the past lifetimes, and this feels really true for me, in past lives, if your South Node is in Sagittarius or the 9th house, you've spent a lot of past lives being the philosopher, being the seeker, being the monk, that retreats from society and just goes alone and like discovers the truth, and it's all about discovering truth, and it's just like focused and disciplined and just on this one pointed path. And so then in this lifetime, to balance out that past lifetimes, the Gemini North Node is more about experiencing many different perspectives of truth, and to get rid of this rigidity of this righteousness that there's only one path. And then also to be out in the world and talk to people and really like slow down and learn how to be a part of society and to be in relationship and to communicate and listen to other people. And yeah, we come in with a lot of knowledge and wisdom to share with others about truth, but we need to meet people where they're at, and to really listen to what they're experiencing, and also listen to people about their life experience and how they've come to the perspective that they're at now. And there's been a lot in this lifetime, there's been a lot of like, I found the path and everyone needs to do this. And again, I say this character just says these blanket statements like, last year when I moved here, oh, David G's my final teacher. I'm not doing anything else until I reach liberation. And like here I am a year and some later, and I'm kind of moving to the next phase to explore what is it like to just be in this beautiful relationship that's come into my life. And I want to study astrology and start sharing all the gifts that I've received from astrology about knowing why I'm suffering, learning about why I'm suffering so much, and also about the past life and this life, and what kind of like how to redirect my focus to bring in more fulfillment. Yesterday the energy wasn't, I didn't have tons of energy. By the way, I quit coffee 3 weeks ago. So, and, I'm never going to say like it's forever, but this time I've tried to quit coffee many, many times in the past many years, and I've always started again. And my boyfriend Adrian came into the picture, and something about his energy and something was ready, and so I've quit. And so the energy yesterday, there wasn't a lot, but it was peaceful. All that meditation I've been doing, it was like there was just this slow, steady pace throughout the day. I mean, I'm packing up to move. I'm going to house sit with Adrian in Tahoe, and I slowly made my way to packing, and I put a bunch of stuff out on the lawn. I got rid of tons of clothes that I haven't worn, and I've just been lugging around, and I put them all out on the lawn with a sign that said free. And just as I got done reading this book, which was about like slowing down and connecting with people, and then I looked outside the window and I saw this woman who had a motorized wheelchair, who was kind of limping around and looking through my stuff, and she had a pile of my clothes, and I saw that she didn't have a bag, so I I went out and I offered her a bag. And I was in this like peaceful, slow pace. And I just sat down and we started connecting. And she was like pretty down and out. I mean, she was on her way. She'd been holed up in this like crappy apartment and was on her way to go get a bottle of wine. She was just trying to get out. And she's going to get surgery on both of her feet. And she's on disability. And she just came to help her friend who was dying of cancer, and he just died. And she shared with me that, she used to be a business owner. She used to own a restaurant, and she was in construction. So she had this full life, and she has 3 children and 8 grandchildren. But she was like really bummed. And I shared with her, she took a couple of my astrology books, and I shared with her about my fatigue and a little bit about my journey. And I just shared authentically about my own struggles. And so I just felt this love happening, and I felt for the first time it was this experience that I'm not separate from anyone. It's hard to explain in words, but our interaction was really sweet and beautiful. And I felt like I gave her a little lift to her day. I brought her some a ray of light, and she also was interested in getting my apartment. But I came back inside and just started to like feel into the love and the connection that we had, and then also the sadness of her not knowing her true nature, and the sadness of all, like how we all are so separated from our true nature. But also like that she was an angel for me. I didn't just lift her up, but this energy exchange is like she showed me the beauty of slowing down to talk to people and to interact with people, no matter where they come from or what they look like, without judgment. Okay, so here's my chart. And if you see, I think one of the significant transits that's a really like an enlightening kind of aha, connecting me with my higher truth and connecting me with my heart, is this Neptune right here conjuncting South Node. And that's at 120 degree angle to my natal Uranus at the bottom of my chart, which, the 4th house in the bottom of our chart is our inner emotional security and our home and, how we feel secure in the world. So if you look here, you can see the transit of Neptune is at 9 degrees, 28 seconds. So it's just, really like a minute away from this Uranus, and then really close to this Ceres also. So that was that beautiful insight I had yesterday about my life path, basically like being okay with the fact that I want to go out into the world and learn astrology and start interacting with people and being in the material world, and not so much being a hermit and just only going after truth and being in satsangs all the time, because the community that I'm in here is really hardcore. They do retreat after retreat after retreat. It's all about satsang and silence and retreats. And that was great for a year. It's exactly what I needed for this last year, with the Pluto square that's happening. So here's Pluto, the transit of Pluto in green, and it's at 15 degrees of Capricorn, and it's at a 90 degree angle, exactly square my natal Sun, Pluto, and North Node here in the 3rd house, or in Libra. Pluto is the planet of death, decay, destruction. It's our deep soul desire of, where our soul wants us to evolve. So it's not an easy planet. It's a very heavy, dark, scorpionic like planet that will bring up all your fears and neuroses. And for me, you know, Pluto's been transiting right on the cusp of my 6th house, which is all about health and our day-to-day routines. And so I attribute that to why, you know, I've had this crazy fatigue, because the square here, it's just been like, you know, basically like my whole identity has been shifting. It's basically made me a blank canvas, and, you know, I went into the full like dying and death and rebirth process, and like being in a cocoon and having no idea what life is about, and just being so confused. And not that I have so much clarity now, but I'm having more moments of clarity. And so my whole life direction, which is North Node, is all like the where your soul wants to evolve, like how this deep soul evolution is going to play out. And so that's why I was talking about the North Node in Gemini, which is 3rd house, is ruled by Gemini. So it's Libra and Gemini in it. So that even emphasizes me learning about how to be in relationship with people even more, how to communicate. 3rd house is about communication, how to communicate on an authentic level, without being judgmental to people, judgmental of where people are at, and not being in this righteousness of like my path is the best path. Like this South Node in the 9th house or Aries is just very much like headstrong and like I know what's best, and, you know, kind of like egotistical and righteousness. And so I've really been humbled by this Pluto, just to like just to come to this place like I don't know anything really, and just to tap me into my heart and soften these rough edges that I've had about knowing what's right and knowing how the world should be. And so it really feels like that woman I met yesterday was kind of like a Neptunian angel, and just to complete the insight. So Neptune trining, which is a trine, is a harmonious transit, so it's like a beneficial one. So Neptune trining Uranus in my 4th house, like of grounding, emotional security. That interaction, just my day yesterday, really it showed me where my emotional security and where I can, I'm here to work on relationship with others, and by slowing down and connecting with people, I'm really going to have this stronger foundation of inner emotional security. The Libra evolution that I've experienced is also like before everything went to shit or before all the gifts came. I didn't know who to believe and who to interact with. So the process that I've gone through now, it's not that I'm just going to be open and talking to everyone, but really there's this inner compass now that like, you're for me, you're not for me, you're for me, you're not for me. And I think it's also about like being a manifestor in human design system. It's like, okay, I can impact you, I can't impact you, I can impact you, I can't impact you. And but the impact itself is coming from a place of my heart and really listening to the person instead of thinking I know what's best for them before I even hear their story. So anyway, just it's a little scattered, but that's another insight I just had. And then the other transit, Saturn conjunct Neptune, pretty much exactly right now, which is funny because we've all been going through this Neptune-Saturn square, like the transit. And I don't know, I think a lot of us have gone through this like disillusionment process of like, wow, disillusioned with the world, with the life, with how things are going in the world. And for me, I experienced those transits as like, I'm floating in an abyss of nothingness with nothing to grab onto. And it's very scary because I don't know where my life's going. I don't know what my life's about. I don't know what life is about. And so now this is squaring, is conjuncting to Neptune in Sagittarius in my 5th house. 5th house is like, it's ruled by Leo, and it's our heart, it's our passion, it's where we want to put our passion and creativity. It also rules children, which children are it's you expressing yourself creatively. But I don't have children, so this Saturn conjunct Neptune is like, it's Saturn constricts and limits and disciplines, so it feels like it's constricting this passion in my heart to really make me realize that astrology it encompasses so much of what I love, and it's a spiritual modality to help people too. So it's like, okay, I'm having this realization that this love in my heart and this desire for service it needs to be restricted. And so this, like, going into one thing without thinking it's the right thing and the only thing, but to kind of hone in my energies to study more and to be able to use astrology as a tool to help guide people to their own higher truth and their own purpose. And the other thing is that, so not only is Saturn helping me to kind of hone in my energy about where I want to put my heart's passion and where I want to be of service to the world. And then now this final Pluto square, and as it passes, there's a feeling of somewhat like empowerment that I can believe in myself to learn the communication skills necessary to clearly communicate my own story, and then also help other people with their own charts. And that's going to take practice. And I realize that, this Gemini energy in my chart, it really, my mind moves so fast, and I assume that's another trait, is that I assume people know where I'm at. And I need to learn to slow down and really explain the details, take it step by step, and tell you what I mean, because I think I skip a lot of stuff. But so anyways, there's just this motivation, desire to learn and to slow down and learn the skills necessary to help others to overcome and to overcome their suffering, because I've been through so much and I feel like I'm almost out of the tunnel. I know that my, the fatigue is not completely gone, but I'm such a new person now after these Pluto transits, and I'm feeling ready to start sharing. Thank you for joining me and staying with me through the end, and until my next video, I will see you then. Feel free to comment if you notice anything in my chart that I didn't see, or if you have any comments about anything or questions, I'm happy to answer them. Sat Nam, everyone.